All right, so now we are streaming on all platforms except Instagram because I forgot about them for a minute. Give me 1 second to do that. And anyway, so we have who am I muting, echoing with? Second, guys. Want to mute you real quick. All right. No, I don't know. It's still got it, but whatever. It's fine. We'll be fine.
It's got to be me because I have a computer next to a TikTok.
Well, we all do though, but you're muted on TikTok, so it's just me, and I've got this. Hopefully they can.
Yeah, but if we mute on TikTok, then they won't be able to hear us on TikTok.
Oh, wait,
right?
So how are they going to hear me on TikTok?
I'll just deal with it.
Would headphones help if I had?
Maybe. Yes. All right, so
you told me to turn my mic on, but then it echoes. You don't hear the echo now?
I don't hear it right now.
You don't?
Everybody's saying it sounds good, so let's just get going. Apparently, I'm the only one echoing. Somebody said, so maybe it's a me problem.
Okay.
But all right, guys. So we did was it last night or the night before? We did a live with Nikki and Jim. Dan was not able to make it because Dan, we'll just say you were under the weather. I'm glad you're feeling
I was
better.
sick as hell.
He was in the hospital, is what he was. He was like, I can't make it. And he sent me a picture from
the flu took me down,
and I was like, there's no excuse to be here. You're not dead, so you need to be here.
I was almost dead though. That was crazy. That took me down hard.
They're saying for me that the echo is awful, so I don't know what to do. They're saying you're the echo, Dan, so I'm going to mute you here real quick on this, and then we'll unmute you when you talk. Anyway, so we had Nikki and Jim on the other night, and we talked a little bit about domestic violence, and they talked a little bit about the documentary, and there were a few things specifically that Nikki wanted to address. I'm going to try to get those pulled up, and so we wanted to give her that opportunity to do so. Talk about a few things, clear up some rumors, and because I think for some of this stuff, it's time to just put it to bed, like some of this stuff. So that being said, let me invite Nikki I will go mute and you can come on and talk.
Where am I coming on and talking? So it's not going to echo? Okay, we're good. Because I have a stupid green screen, it won't give me a background. Only on yours. You have to guide me, Justin. I have zero memory, so I know we talked earlier today.
Okay, I'll do it then. So there are a few things that you wanted to talk about, and I'll give you the list that you said, and you can kind of go in the order that you want to go into. You had given me bullet points on Loretta Bush, the dark-haired friend of Brian and Gabby, the orb. This is like a Jeopardy, like pick the category. What is? I'm kidding. Why we spread some of her ashes, Brian being alive, Gabby being the abuser, maybe a little bit about the Laundries. And then we also talked about what is the Northport that's an AH. I got it. About him, which you already said that. And then I think it's also would be beneficial to readdress the 2020 thing, especially since they have taken it down. They'll be doing a retraction. And that's kind of what was on there. And then there was one more thing I had mentioned to Jim earlier today that if he wants to talk about it, he can, but that's going to be up to him. But whatever order you want to go in on this.
Okay. 1 second. I had to text Rose really quick.
And Rose can come on too if she wants to. Just let me know and I can send her a link. I texted her earlier, but she didn't respond to me.
Okay, let her know. So yeah, I mean, let's talk really quick about the 2020 thing again, just to touch base on that. We, Joe had made a video yesterday because, they said that we got a $3 million, judgment, and we're going to put it into the foundation. That was just false information. So just to clear the air, I know there's a lot of articles out there from back in that time when we won the the lawsuit against Brian Laundrie's estate. It was Gabby's estate versus Brian Laundrie's estate. So just wanted to touch base on that again, because, you know, it would be amazing if we could do that. Of course we would. But yeah, it was just, we were just mad that they said it when they didn't have any reason to say it. So on a positive note, let's talk about Loretta Bush. First of all, we had a very positive experience with the FBI, and the things that I've been seeing on TikTok and other places have been very interesting. But she was amazing. She was an amazing agent, and we were very lucky to have her on Gabby's case. And I'm just wondering if people have seen the interesting TikToks that have been out there about her. All positive. All positive. Just everybody's in love with her. They just think she's the best. And so that's kind of a positive thing. I just wanted to ask if you guys have seen that. But, so who
Well,
said?
she's very caring. She was absolutely amazing to us. You could tell that she's really into it. The FBI, I guess, has gotten a lot of bad press over the last few years, and I think seeing her and just how caring and involved they were, I think that was huge for them as an organization. It shows, you know, that there are really good people out there in any organization, and we were blessed to have her as a part of it, and to be, you know, want to speak out and talk about like their end of it. So I think that was really huge.
And I'm not gonna lie, she's a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, she is amazing. And she deserves all the praise that she's getting, because you could just see that she's such a caring soul. So yeah, I just wanted to mention her, because give her some credit, because she's amazing. So on a more negative note, I'd like to talk about, in the documentary, a friend of Gabby and Brian's. She spoke very eloquently about the time in her life when she was friends with both of them. And I just want everybody to know that she's a really good person. She has a really big heart, and we adore her. I saw a couple negative things out there, not a whole bunch, but there's no reason to put any negativity towards her, because she really is a sweet, sweet person. I think it would possibly hurt her to see someone saying anything negative about her. So just wanted to put that out there. Yeah.
Well, I don't know why
people have
people are
seen that.
saying that they have negative vibes for her.
Right.
And I just want to say this, because I'll be very honest. As a lot of y'all know, because you know, you guys gave me an evil look when I first met Rose. Before I met Rose, I was like, I don't know about the vibes. And Rose, I would consider now a very good friend. So sometimes, you know, initial thoughts and judgments can be off. I watched the documentary even before I knew that people were saying anything about her, and I didn't see anything that was off about her. Not that my opinion matters, but I didn't see anything that's off. And just, you know, just give people a little bit of grace is all I'll say.
Yes, that's exactly the best way to put it. Give people grace, because she certainly deserves grace. She's just a beautiful, beautiful human. So just wanted to let people know if they could be a little more kind and gentle towards her. That'd be great.
And I do want to go real quick back to the settlement for a moment, because I think there's a lot of other people don't understand. So I just want to make sure that they kind of do, without beating a dead horse. So as Nikki said, Gabby's estate sued Brian's estate. Brian did not have $3 million. Okay. So a judgment can be awarded, but it doesn't mean that they're ever going to collect on that judgment. And I don't know how much detail I'm allowed to get into. If Nikki wants to go into more, that's going to be up to her. But basically, the purpose of that lawsuit was to basically prevent the Laundrie family using the story to profit. And I guess that's what we can leave it at that. And that was the biggest thing. It wasn't about getting paid out. They don't expect to ever get paid out $3 million from Brian's estate. And a kind of a good example, and Jim, you and I were talking about this yesterday, is go back to O.J. Simpson. I forget how much was awarded in that. And, you know, they never, Nicole Brown and Ron Goldman, their families never saw a dime.
No, and even after he died, it was just the attorneys were still like, yeah, they'll never see a penny of this. So it's an arbitrary number that's assigned to it, and for most families, when they go through a civil suit like that, when they don't have their day in criminal court, or they feel that it doesn't go to criminal court for whatever reason, a lot of times the civil way is the only way that you can find a form of justice, and either to get information that you're looking for, or to get some type of answers. And that's really what that was. So we'll never see that ever. And it's not the reason why we did it. It was to say, yes, he 100% did it, and that was it. So but yeah.
And then on kind of in the same regard, and we're going to touch very lightly on this with, there are reasons why, there are various reasons why people do civil lawsuits. Sometimes it is money related. You look at, what's going on right now with Sean Combs, Diddy. The people who are accusing him are after money. He's got it, but that money is punitive for what they had to go through. Other times, and I'm not going to say anything specific about what they went through, between the Petito Schmidt family and the Laundrie family. We're not going to talk about that, but I'll give Micah Miller's family as an example. They settled with JP Miller, and I can tell you wholeheartedly that it was about information, not about money. And sometimes too, just so people are kind of aware of how these things work, is if you go, and Jim, you and I were talking about this yesterday, actually. If you go to mediation and they make you a reasonable offer, and then you say, no, I'm not going to accept it, and you go to court and you lose, then you're on the hook for all of that money. And you look at certain situations, sometimes people don't have either the financial resources or just the mental bandwidth to tie things up for years in a court. And so, sometimes they'll settle because, like I said, for the Miller's case in particular, there was information that they were after. They got that information and they were happy with it. And that's what made them do it. It wasn't necessarily about money. And so that's kind of all I want to say is it's not everything is what it is at face value. And similar to the Micah Miller case, with their family, what it's like 98, 97, Dan could probably answer this too, but very large, like 97 and 98% of civil lawsuits, when you come to settlements like that, come with a gag order. Almost all of them do. That's standard. So just to put all of that to bed about the money and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and for us, we just didn't want for people to be like, oh my goodness, they got all this, it went to the foundation, blah, 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 it didn't, because you can see the financials of a nonprofit if you want to. We wish we had that much money in our nonprofit, but we don't. We could do a lot with that for a lot of people. And we just wanted people to know, that was something we never said. We don't know where they got it from. They're gonna correct it, and but we just tried to want to get ahead of it before it went any further. And I think Joe did a really, really good job last night of doing that. So,
I mean, but that's a great way to bring up the thing that we always talked about. If people want to help you guys, they should go to the nonprofit and make a donation.
Perfect. So you got Gabby Petito. I'm next.
You're not echoing here on our end.
Maybe it's just me.
Yeah.
Okay, fixed now. I'm muted and then unmuted. If you want to go to GabbyPetitoFoundation.org and make a donation or buy some of their merch, they have pretty great merch on there. I've raved about the hoodies. I've raved about the shirts. It's very high quality stuff, and that's a way to help and get awareness around it. But if you want to just go and make a donation, you've heard them talk, about this, and we'll do it on another live too, because I know you didn't want to talk about all the domestic violence stuff tonight, but they're doing a lot of things with that to try to bring, education into school systems and bring education to law enforcement in different states and so many touch points who deal with these victims. And all of that, costs money. And lately they've been doing a lot of that out of their own pockets. And, it's really a good organization to donate to. And I would strongly encourage y'all to do it.
I just want to add too, before we go any further, we've literally received thousands of emails and messages over the last week, And we used to have one of our volunteers that did a lot of that work for us with separating, forwarding them to the proper person. And he passed away last year. So we filled the gap with some other folks right now. But for anybody that has sent us messages, we're doing our best to get to them and get them to the right people, to get you answers, or just to say thank you for reaching out to us. But we have gotten them. We are reading them. It's just a lot, and we're trying to do our best to get back to everybody. So we greatly appreciate it. A lot of stories from survivors, and these aren't just from the United States. This is from all over the world that we've gotten. I was looking at them tonight. I had a message from Saudi Arabia, France. Thank goodness for Google Translate, because a lot of them are in their native language. All over Europe, South Africa, the UK, Netherlands, New Zealand, Australia. So all over the world, people have been reaching out to us, and we really appreciate it. It's just taking us a lot of time to go through them, but we are getting them. And I just wanted to make that point to say that, you know, we're doing a lot and the best we can. So please just be patient with us if we don't get back to you right away.
Yeah. I want to say I'm going to start a section on the website called Because of Gabby, because we get a lot of stories that start with because of Gabby, and then it goes into how she helped this person. And I love listening. I love reading these stories. It's just amazing. So I'm gonna start that. So if anybody wants to share a story that has anything to do with Gabby and how her spirit and her story helped you in some way, definitely reach out to us, because we love hearing your stories, and we'd love to share them if you agree. Anonymously is fine, but it's just amazing.
How are you do you know how you're gonna do that yet?
Well, I'm gonna have it probably in the blog area, but I'm gonna have it as a separate page called Because of Gabby, and then just kind of copy and paste their stories. Sometimes it's just a couple of sentences, just impactful.
I would say if you want to, you could also always use Jotform if that helps to get the stories to then copy. I don't know if you've ever used Jotform.
I do have Jotform, but they're kind of just sending them to us in email, so
Yeah. Okay,
they can continue to do that. Yeah.
All right. So
can I ask you guys about this? Has been
Dan, you're muted.
Am I?
I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Nikki's messing with you. Yeah, I can hear you.
No, I know you're listening, because you're listening.
Now I can. Yes.
Now he's muted. Now he's muted on. Now he's muted on. Here, hold on.
Don't you have an echo now?
No.
No echo?
No echo.
So, can I ask about like the past week? You know, when I pinged you guys last week when the documentary first came out, you know, you both said you were kind of overwhelmed. Has that subsided a little bit? Have you felt the love from everybody? Because I think the overwhelming amount of people that are watching this are very touched by your story. And I think you have a huge support system out there. Are you guys aware of really what's happening? That that there's a huge bubble that's starting. I mean, there's a lot of people rallying behind you guys.
Yes, we see it. Oh, echo.
Here, I'll mute.
I hear it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we see it and we appreciate it and we love everyone, and it's been amazing. And it's Gabby that inspires them. It's not just us, it's Gabby. So, and her story, we really appreciate it a lot, because the only way we could keep this foundation going is because of everyone's support. We couldn't do that on our own. So we need everyone.
Did I see you post something? Did someone buy you lunch today or yesterday?
So we were having sushi with our very good friends. Oop, I'm echoing again. From the Denise Amber Lee Foundation. And there's 6 of us just sitting at the table. I had my daughter and they had their daughter. And this guy walks over and he says, "Lunch is on me today." And I was like, I don't know why I reacted this way. I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Just because." And then he shook our hands and just walked off. Like, yeah, it was great.
Joe just said that Gabby is the echo, by the way.
It could be. Joe, you're probably right.
100% she is. She messes with electronics. So that's her thing.
So,
All right. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just going to say, I think because I have my headphones on through my phone on TikTok, and then I'm talking through here. I don't know. It's not echoing on my end at all.
Why don't we go back and expand a little bit on the discussion that we had a week ago when I emailed you guys or texted you guys. You should let people know how hard it was, because you felt a little bit like you were reliving everything all over again. You know, and even though there's a lot of love out there for you guys, this has still been terribly difficult for all of you. I'm sure Joe as well. And can you just talk a bit about like the emotions that have been going on this week? Because obviously this is a horrible thing to go through, and then to have to live it out in public is even worse. And you guys went through the tsunami, and now it's like it's kind of back again. Is it different this time, or are you guys more equipped to deal with this?
I can speak for myself. I can tell you, like, the difference I think this time was we're kind of prepared for it. Like, we knew it was going to come. I know for myself that I've been equipping myself with the tools to be able to process that stuff a little bit better over the last year, as opposed to like 4 years ago when this first happened. But it's still overwhelming. It's still a lot. It feels like almost like you're resetting, and then you're kind of starting over again. And but like I would say it's a little bit different now because of a lot of the stuff that we're getting like coming in. Like now, like my stress is like wanting to like communicate back with everybody like immediately, and not let anybody down, and try to help as many people as we can. So I mean, I think that's like my biggest stress right now is like overwhelmed by the amount of messages we're getting, and it's like, now we got to respond to these people. Like we got to do something. And so, but we have a good team. We're kind of dividing and conquering, and we all lean on each other. And we said it from the beginning. If there wasn't 4 parents, we don't know if we would be this far. Probably not. We all have our different strengths. We all have our days when we are having a bad day and we pick each other up, or we're having a good day. So, it's every day's different. So.
Yeah, it was really difficult the day that the doc came out, because we were just so overwhelmed. It's different. It is different this time. I don't know why. Still overwhelming, but I think it's because we've had our resolution. We've been through all the really hard stuff. Now we're just kind of having to kind of relive it in a way that's just very emotional. It's a roller coaster, but we just know that it's going to help people. Telling her story helps people, and it's not just to tell her story and have a documentary about Gabby. It's to really touch other people and give them the inspiration to, I don't know, just feel like they're inspired by Gabby. And maybe us in some way. I don't know if we're inspiring anybody. I always say it's Gabby, not us. But yeah, it's emotional. I've had a rough week. I'm very tired. I want to sleep every day, but have to work on the foundation. So yeah.
So I guess if you wanted to go to the next things that y'all wanted to talk about, there are 2 that I think you could probably do. I should have asked you ahead of time for the picture so I could show it up on YouTube and Facebook of the orb, but we can just describe it. It's fine. But the next 2 things you had on the list were the orb and why you spread some of her ashes. Those 2 kind of can go together.
Well, I've seen a lot of people are freaking out about the orb. They think it's great. It's really cool.
I mean, I think it's great. It's huge. It's like
totally
huge.
Gabby. Yes, totally Gabby. But I heard some people, I don't even want to say some people, it might have just been one comment. I don't know. It just irked me a little bit that somebody didn't like that we spread her ashes at the spot where they believe her life was taken. So, in order to explain that, I really don't have to explain it. I mean, it's a beautiful place. That's her final resting place as far as we're concerned, even though she's everywhere all the time. We just thought because it was so beautiful and she did love it so much that we would just bring a little bit of her there. And yeah, I don't know. It's just something we felt compelled to do.
So like, there was a story that I had told in the beginning, like, ever since I was in 5th grade, I always wanted to go to Wyoming. Always wanted to go there. I did a report on the state of Wyoming. And sadly, the first time I ever went there was to go look for Gabby. And I remember after we found her, I said to myself, I don't think I can ever come back here ever again. And then after some time, I realized, looking around, how beautiful it was, looking at all the places that she went, how much she enjoyed being there. I was like, I don't think she would want that. She would want us to experience the same beauty, the things she did see while she was here. And we get the strongest presence of her from there. It's just, even though something quite horrific happened there that we'll never forget, she's there. And, we spread some of those ashes in Spread Creek. So she's traveling forever, so she's forever traveling. And that was just something that we did as a family, and I think it kind of brought us some peace.
I found the photo and I figured out my green screen. So there's the orb. Sorry, it's on TikTok. I could probably put it on here, but.
And since my wife said that my typing was loud and kind of rude, Jim, I was just responding to the question you had asked, just so you're aware. But
yeah, somebody, Ashley, had asked in the TikTok chat, what would you say to another parent who lost a child from DV, who's grieving as well? I would say that hopefully they have them linked to a victim advocate to help them. Victim advocates are amazing. If you're currently still going through it, whether court battles or anything like that, they will get you counseling while you're going through it. They will go to court with you. They will prepare you for court, prepare you for trial. They will work with the siblings or brothers and sisters of anybody involved, trying to get them counseling. And then they can also link you to like support groups with families that have experienced similar things, and just to be able to talk about it. And then just making sure you're taking that time for yourself. You're doing those things for self-care, because it's really important. But if you don't have a victim advocate, I mean, you can hit us up at our info at GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. You can send us an email and let us know like the area you're in, and we can kind of link you to one if you don't have one. So that's just some recommendations to kind of help you get through it. It's not perfect, and every day is different, and the grieving changes as time goes on, but getting help right in the beginning is huge.
I think, Dan, did you have a question? I know that it got sidetracked.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk without the echo. Can you? Is the echo back?
No, you're good.
You're fine.
Huh?
You're good. You're good.
All right. From the look of the film, we never discussed this. It looked like where they found her was a pretty far hike. Did you ever? Because you guys were going over creeks. I mean, how far was it from where the van was?
Not far.
Okay, so
Do you have a better idea of like length, like as many feet as it might have been? Because I'm really bad at that.
Yeah, well, it wasn't far at all. It looks a lot. It's kind of depending on the time of year you go.
Okay, now
Dan,
now you got to mute or something.
I did mute, so I'll mute again.
Only when other people are talking for some reason. There he is, still going. So wacky.
We can't hear it.
Yeah, it's not far at all. It's a 5-minute walk from where the van was, but you have to go across the Spread Creek, which it's very rocky. There's a couple of deep sections of it, depending on the time of the year. The water's very cold, but it's not far. It's not a very secluded area at all. There was a couple of little trees, a lot of sagebrush, and I could close my eyes and take it right to the exact spot. I don't even need a GPS coordinate or anything. It's just ingrained in my brain.
Yeah. And it's beautiful.
You know, one thing I think everybody would appreciate today. I know a lot of people have questions. Would you guys be willing to take some questions from people watching right now? We'll rapid fire some questions.
Depends on the question. Yeah.
Okay. If anybody has a respectful question that they would like to ask, you can go ahead and type it, and we could ask them.
And if they want to, I'm sure. I want to meet you real quick. There you go. There's still a couple more things that I think that's a good idea, again, if they're comfortable doing that. But I know there's a couple more things that she wanted to get to that might answer some of those questions as well. And
yeah,
you don't have to. I mean,
no, what else was I forgot?
I got the list you texted me and I got it pulled up. You wanted to address the rumors, 2 of the rumors at least. And I think this, for the most part, was it, with the exception of maybe possibly one more thing that I'm kind of interested in you guys sharing if you want to, but I'll come back to that. And those are the Brian being alive. And before you answer that one again, I want to add another layer to that, because there's another thing that goes with that people have been saying that I think needs to be put to bed. And the people who are coming on saying that Gabby was the abuser because they clearly don't have eyes and see what everybody else sees. But not only are people still speculating that Brian is alive, they're also now saying that it was his dentist uncle, that did the forensics, basically. And you and I know that that's just not remotely true, but there's a lot of people who believe that's true. So I will just give you the floor.
Well, listen, you don't know what you don't know. And you see these articles, there's tons of them from way back when, and they're just fabricated. It's not true. So I don't even know when things were started and why people had to say things, but again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on talking about any of them, but he's no longer with us. His whole entire body was found, and he's not in South America living his life. That's a lot that I heard of that a lot today going on TikTok. I just heard that a lot today, and I'm just like, can we stop? Can we please stop? He might be South, but he's not in South America. So
he's looking up at us right now. But and then, as far as I know it seems ridiculous to even address it, but did his dentist, I don't even know if his uncle is a dentist, but did his dentist uncle identify him?
What?
That is a common one, Nikki, believe it or not.
A scientist, somebody that does this for a living, identified him. So I guess not identified him, but they did the DNA testing and all that. But I mean,
so it wasn't.
They have their medical examiners. They have their forensic anthropologists.
Thank you. And
people they only found his teeth, blah blah blah. No, they found a lot more than that. They found everything they needed to say yes, this was him. So I don't know. I mean, we try not to think about that, but that's just whatever. You're seeing it coming up a lot. Like I'm on the search, I'm hunting, I'm looking.
People love conspiracies. They love them.
People
and they
still
grow.
looking for Bigfoot too.
Telephone, they get bigger and bigger, and
Well, okay.
So someone gave a good question. I think you guys would want to answer. What do Gabby's siblings think about the foundation?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think they appreciate what we're doing. They kind of have to live their own lives. I don't ever expect them to have to be part of it if they don't want to, but if they do, that would be wonderful. My son, he comes to an event with us every year, and he's wonderful. He stands at the table and talks to people, and he really enjoys it, so he's good at it. And I think he's really proud of himself when he does that, connects with a lot of people. But the younger ones, I mean, they're still young. So
how has your son been handling this whole thing?
He just lives his day-to-day life. Boys, I think, especially at his age, 21 years old, they kind of bottle things up. So I try to just talk to him and keep keep communicating, but I'm sure he's very sad. So I don't know how he's feeling. He doesn't really talk about it much. Yeah.
So Jim, I know that you answered this one in the private chat, so I'll put it up here. If you want to answer that one, because you put it in the chat.
Yeah, I can't answer on the other one in the comment section, but there was a question of, I guess, a YouTuber or a TikToker or somebody had found Gabby's water bottle in Florida, and everybody was like, "You're making this up." That was 100% Gabby's water bottle that they found. So that was true. It was not made up. It wasn't a ploy. It wasn't a gimmick. It was 100% her water bottle.
Well, it was the water bottle from the van. I don't know if they shared it. I don't know if it was hers or Brian's, but it was the water bottle.
It was the water bottle.
I have the water bottle. I have it.
We have it now.
Yeah.
And just to go back to what we were talking about, and again, I can start on this, and y'all can start on it, whatever you want to do. The people who sit there saying, and I'm not giving them a pass because I know what we saw, but the people that are sitting there saying, well, Gabby was the abuser. She admitted to hitting him. Which she did admit to hitting him, but that's, very common in those types of situations as a self-defense mechanism. And do y'all, because I know that was one of the things you brought up. Do you want to briefly address that one?
Yeah, we don't want to go too deep into the dynamics of domestic violence, but sometimes somebody who's being abused is accused of being the abuser. So, because of a lot of there's retaliation, there is self-defense, and I'm keeping it simple here. There's so many things that go into this, and if you don't understand it, it's okay to not understand it, but like don't accuse something if you don't know. Go get your education on it first, and then learn about why.
I think the easiest way to just say is that every DV expert and law enforcement expert around the country is using that video for a prime example on how they need to handle these situations better, how to recognize things better, how to truly read what the situation is. And they're using that to change and better respond to these types of incidents, I think would be one of the best ways to say it.
And I want to share. So this is a story I'm pretty sure I've not shared with either of y'all, kind of like a personal anecdote. Because you guys and most of my followers know that I don't have a relationship with my mother anymore. But when I was younger, I had a stepfather who was very physically and verbally abusive. And he used to like to throw us around a little bit. And one night, he got drunk and threw my mom around a parking lot. And she called the police quietly. And they came after we went to bed. I woke up to them knocking on the door, but after we went to bed, and she had the police remove them. And as they were taking him out of the house, he patted her on the leg and said, "It's okay, honey. I know you're having a nervous breakdown. We'll get you the help you need soon." Just trying to make her look like she was nuts. And then he left. And of course, he eventually came back. But that's kind of what they do. They make themselves look like the cool, calm, collected ones and make the other person look like they're insane, because what they do is they drive people to a breaking point. And again, we don't want to go too deep into the weeds on that, but I kind of wanted to share that. I mean, I've seen it firsthand as well, where the abusers really try to act like they're the good guy and the police don't really recognize it.
Yeah, it's just, don't make judgments until you understand and educate yourself on what it looks like, and then you'll see things differently through a different lens. It's really important to understand it before making judgments about it.
Now, that was pretty much everything that was on your list. There's one thing I'll kind of try to bring up. I should have probably typed it to you, Jim, to make sure, but I'll try to be very covert when I say this. We talked about the other day about certain things that the narcotics division used and set up for you guys. And I feel like that could be, if you want to talk about it, could be a very interesting conversation, because a lot of people want to know, you know what I'm saying? But if not, you don't have to.
It's just a sticking point with me, because as much as, I want to talk about it, I also don't want to give it too much attention either.
Okay.
but it's just something that really is bothering me because I know what we were told, and I'll tell you what was said in the documentary by the public misinformation officer from Northport was 100% a lie about what happened with the surveillance. What he said was 100% a lie, and you're not going to find other police agencies or anybody else calling them out or telling them no, that's a lie. But what he said was 100% a lie. We were told a different story in the beginning, and then when we had our debriefing, we were told the real story of what happened. And basically, they never really had any eyes on him.
If there is one, sorry, Jim. If there's one thing that disappointed me in the doc, it was seeing the public information officer speak at all in the documentary. He didn't need to do that. He didn't need to be on there. So.
There's a lot we can talk about with that, but it's like I don't even want to give him the time of day. He doesn't deserve it. I've done his job, what he does. I've never had anything as major as that, obviously. But you can see in the documentary, my CNN interview. One of the things they told us was that they were going to give us all the information before it hits the media. And as you can see on that interview for me, I found out on live TV. So that was a lie to us. We weren't getting all the information. And then the fact that they said that, there was a lot of people there, and it was just confusing, and couldn't tell who was who. When he disappeared, there wasn't that many people outside that house. They were using cameras to record the property, and those cameras were not originally intended to record 24/7. And when they reprogrammed the cameras, they corrupted the file and they had no video. So they had no idea. So what he said was 100% a lie.
What is the theory? What does everybody think? How did he get out? Do they know when he left? And I mean, do you guys
have no idea?
Clue?
They have no idea.
Just looking at questions.
By the way, my heart fell for you. I didn't know that part of the story that you found out live on TV. When I saw that, I was like, wow.
Yeah, Nikki, Joe, and all them, they had found out like just before that, and I wasn't like really big on doing interviews or anything like that. Like I was out west to do something completely different, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do this one. And I didn't have my phone on me because I'm sitting there on my computer ready to go online, and I didn't realize that like Nikki and Joe and Tara and everybody had just found out, and then boom, they put that guy on the air, and it's like boom, they go to me. And Chris Cuomo was very apologetic. He said, I would have never have done that. I didn't know that you guys didn't know that. He felt really bad. And he gave me his cell phone number, and he followed up, and he was calling me and texting me the other day to, after that, to talk to me because he felt so terrible. But I was like a deer in headlights. I was just flabbergasted. I had no idea what to do.
I will say, for what it's worth, though, even when you watch it, even without you knowing at that point, I mean, you could tell, knowing now that you didn't know then, you handled it incredibly well. Like you didn't falter at all.
It was, I could tell you, I wasn't like that when I got off the air. But and then not long after that's when they found Gabby. So, everything just changed from there.
So I see, Nikki, you're throwing some questions up in there. So I can do them as a banner up here so people can kind of see them.
Yeah, I found them in the chat. So
let's do it. This one is, how do you feel about the protests outside the Laundries house?
I didn't like seeing that. It bothered me a lot. I don't know. At the time, I just felt it made me feel sick. I was like, it's hard to describe because I know people would think that I was like cheering them on or something. I was not. I didn't like the way that was handled. I feel good about the fact that people were fighting for Gabby and respecting us, but they were disrespecting people in that neighborhood. I just felt really bad about it, but I understood the reason behind it. So I was grateful for the love that we had, but it was just a lot. It was a lot.
What did law enforcement tell you about that? Were they concerned about that, or did they feel it helped them? Or did you ever talk to them about, because it kind of created like a circus-like atmosphere? So did they feel that that hindered their investigation or helped them? Or
I'll let Jim answer that one.
I'll be honest, out west, I was kind of disconnected from a lot of the stuff that was going on back east. My focus was just simply on my daily communications with law enforcement out there and handing out posters and trying to talk to people. So I wasn't really clued in so much on it. My focus like out there was like the media frenzy out there and trying to keep them away from the areas I knew they were searching for Gabby. And if I was going to do an interview, not go anywhere near where they were until they eventually set up their own command post and had a place for them to go. I mean, that was really the focus, and that was what we were trying to deal with at that point. We were trying to find our daughter,
these are more positive. Someone asked if you would ever put her artwork up on the foundation page.
I just answered her. I said maybe. We hold that near and dear. It's kind of like our one thing we have.
Should we tell them what we're working on or no?
Well, we want to have an art show, right?
What's that art show called? What kind of art show?
We're discussing taking Gabby's artwork on tour.
No, I know. There's a word that Jim can't stand.
The Art Basel. So
don't say it. Why do you got to say it?
No, I think we're beyond that. I think we're talking about there's a few we've been talking to. We have. I can't say anything because I'm still working on it right now. But one of the clients who I work with, one of the artists I work with, wants to help us curate an art show that would travel to a couple high-profile museums across the country.
We would love that. The four parents, we've been talking about it for a while now. We do want to do something with her art, so it'll happen. Just being patient with it. Yeah.
I like how we said Basil and Jim disappeared.
Justin.
So I'll go ahead and do another one that you put up here, you copied, which is, how do you feel about Brian's sister trying saying to change the narrative about the abuse, that it was really Gabby, even though we know that's not the case?
How do you feel about Brian? Oh yeah. I'm trying to word this the right way. We kind of just talked about this, right? I'm not going to say anything about them because I don't really care. But again, it's back to the whole not understanding how domestic violence works. We have lots of evidence of the dynamic between Gabby and Brian, so we know what happened. So I don't know why she would come out and say that. So,
right. And then the last one that you had highlighted was this one, which is, I just finished the pod about the Lifetime movie. I was wondering how the family feels about mystery authors coming out with stories that are similar, but maybe changing names and information.
Yeah, I saw this question. I thought it was interesting. I'm not a huge reader of fiction, so I mean, I haven't heard of any books that are similar. But I mean, if a writer takes a story and it inspires them to write something, then I mean, it's kind of like what Lifetime did, but it's fine. What can we do about it? If they're taking something that inspired them and making a story out of it, then what are you going to do? They didn't call it the Gabby Petito story. That's the difference. So, yeah.
And I think, Dan, if you want to, before we take, because that's the last question she had highlighted for the moment, that would be a good segue if you wanted to talk about the podcast for a moment.
I mean, yeah, you guys can go over to our Real Victims page. It's on all the different podcast outlets, and you can learn a little more about what we talked about. But basically, the backbone of it is how far is too far with Hollywood. What's interesting about the Lifetime movie made about Gabby is they put that in production before the resolution was even there. They didn't really even know. I think they started planning that movie before they even found Gabby, right? Which is just fascinating. But the fact that a movie was made about Gabby's life, they called it the Gabby Petito story. They didn't work with the family in any capacity to make it. and they used real names and even like similar likenesses to Gabby and to Rose, and as Jim would say, him. But it, you know, it's just kind of sick on how far Hollywood will go sometimes. And you know, if you didn't know any better, everybody saw the body cam footage from Moab, so they kind of nailed that one scene. So the fact they did that scene so accurately, and then it's called the Gabby Petito story, you would think that everything in that movie was fact. So we had the family watch the film with us, with Rose, and we went through some key scenes and we dissected those scenes to find out what is complete fabrication and what was factual. I think you'll be surprised by some of the answers. And then we grade the film at the end based on what the family really thought about the film. So that's up on YouTube right now. It's also on all different podcast platforms.
Dan, I was actually hoping if you could have substituted me in the podcast for the guy who played me in the Lifetime movie, and put him and just like kind of dub my words or something like that over. That would have been great.
Look at that, Jim.
Oh my God.
By the way, this is what we find so endearing about you guys, that in the midst of this tragedy, you guys still
it's
can have
close.
a sense of humor and you know, and still try to find ways to find, you know, to laugh at things. But you know, in all reality, I'm kind of mortified to be part of the Hollywood community. I cannot believe that they did that film so close to this incident happening. They didn't communicate with any of you guys, even make an attempt to try to you know, see if you want to help with it. It's just ridiculous.
And real quick, for people who don't know, if you're on TikTok, you can't see this, but this is the gentleman who played Jim in the podcast. And as you can see, it's a very striking resemblance. Jim was very pleased with casting, especially when they did that one crotch shot. He was very happy with that as well. So we're telling you about the movie. You don't have to watch the movie because we unfortunately already did.
What's amazing is they foreshadowed a beard before I had a beard.
Did Joe not want to come on? Is he here?
I texted him earlier. He didn't. He didn't really respond.
He was here though in the chat before.
Yeah, he was trolling us before I saw him there.
I found a question on TikTok. Is there anything you guys can think of that would be helpful for school systems to do to help prevent? So that's what we're working on. You know, we actually had got a lot of emails for schools wanting us to come speak to the students. So we'll definitely start there. We want to create some kind of program that the schools can utilize and have their teachers teach the kids continually. So we can't travel to every school in the country. So, yeah.
There was a question or a comment somebody made that I want to address because you had literally just addressed it. And I want to say this for this creator because where did it go?
And also thank you to, I see all the really sweet comments that I do see them. They're just flying by quick, but thank you so much, everybody, for those.
This one. This is the one. So this one said there was a TikTok creator who raised money for a trip to help find Gabby, took the money, claimed to have COVID, and faked finding Gabby's water bottle. No, none of that is actually true. What you said. She did go down there. She did go to the park. She did find the water bottle, and in fact, because I was on the phone.
Are we on the water bottle again?
We are on the water bottle again. So she actually was on when she found the bottle, she called me, and I was on the phone with her on FaceTime when they were in there. I don't know if you guys might not have known that. And then they had to beg the police department to take it. I mean, that's what happened. So that's just not an accurate statement, is my point.
I just don't know what was such a big deal about the water bottle. Everything had been done and over with. And I get like, I guess when I seen it at first, I was like, why is that just like laying around? But there was chest deep water in this swamp area. Like, people don't understand. It was literally up to their chests. The water took days to recede, and there were things around, and that's how it happened. And unfortunately, it's like Occam's razor. Like, it's the simplest explanation. So we have to stop making conspiracies out of really simple things.
I just didn't want them to say that Olivia took money and didn't find anything and faked it.
I mean, by the way, you should set the record straight. I think people should realize, like, hear from you guys. You know, you guys, you worked with Netflix. You once again opened up this wound to help tell the story, to save lives and raise awareness. And also because a lot of people felt connected to your daughter. So you wanted the story out there. But
Yeah.
how does it feel that people are creating these crazy conspiracy theories and this nutty stuff? Like, every day, like, you're trying to get through this, and there are wonderful comments, but at the same time, people making these nutty things up that Brian's still alive and living in South America. And I mean, people should realize how that affects the family. I mean, how does that make all you guys feel when you see that stuff?
I kind of laugh it off. I know how people are. I've dug into some conspiracies in my past. Nothing about like tragedies like this, but it's weird, and I don't really know how to address it. But people are gonna think what they want, and I don't know if they're making it up to try and get attention or if they really believe it. I don't know. So it's just weird for me.
I'll be honest, I don't even really look at it because I try to stay focused on all the good stuff that we're doing and block that stuff out. You know what's true, you know what's not true, and you just block it out and you just stay focused on the mission. So that's really what it is.
Do the kids see this stuff though? I mean, how have you been able to shield the kids from seeing some of the nuttiness around this?
You can't.
You just be honest with them. There's nothing that these are strangers. They don't have to get upset about what random strangers say. So just kind of tell them, if you see something, don't take it seriously. That's all. Yeah.
There's another question that you threw up here. So I'm going to put that one, which is, I see a lot of people slamming Red, White, and Bethune again for posting the dash cam video on their YouTube since it was monetized channel. Just wondering, since that video was helpful, thoughts.
So I don't like anybody being mean to Red, White, and Bethune. We're actually very good friends with them now, and they are wonderful people. Jen is a beautiful soul, and she puts her life out there. If anybody follows them at all, she's just an amazing person. She wants to help people. Has a lot of grief. She lost a child of her own, and I think that we were meant to meet, and I think that's everything that happened for a reason. And she was there at the right moment, and I think she was guided there. And we just adore them. So I hate seeing anything negative about them.
And she wasn't even supposed to be recording. It was just kind of like meant to be.
She says it was serendipitous, everything that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll go one step further. That video made a big difference in this case. I mean, made a massive difference. It was actual footage of where the van was. It allowed people to hone in. I think when we did the show, because I was listening to the podcast in the car this afternoon, Dan, because I think it's just like, I'm not trying to be whatever because it's us, but it really is very, very well done. And one of the things that you were talking about, Jim, is that it put them about a day and a half ahead by knowing where that was. They could go right to the right spot. And then that allowed other people to go in for that area and start trying to look for anything there that was, the people who want to sleuth. And so I think that video is very valuable.
Yeah, they were in the area, but they were east of that area. And once they got that video and they said yes, and they could pinpoint that exact location, they were able to say, well, let's focus here. And the timing was the key, because the weather out there that time of year it can be crazy. It's September. It's 70 degrees during the daytime, and it's like 25 degrees at night. You get snow that starts coming in, and they had a snowstorm not long after finding Gabby. So we're firm believers that if we didn't find Gabby when we did, there was a good chance that we would still be searching for her, because how quickly the weather changes out there. So that was definitely a huge piece of information that was needed to locate her. Jen actually had come up to Gabby's memorial service. Like Nikki said, her and Kyle had they lost a child in a car accident years ago. So it was a connection there. And we actually live not too far from where their family is here in Florida. And we've gotten to know them really well. We've hung out with them. They are. They're amazing people. They're great souls, and you know, it's just you know, they just doing their thing. They're just good people, and we're happy to have their friendship and their love, and we respect them so much.
Could we ask? I have a question about the doc on Netflix, because there was a section I was a little confused. It seemed from the way it was edited that the Northport police really did a great job, but we never really discussed it. They were pretty receptive, because I know sometimes when you call for an adult, anybody over the age of 18 saying they're missing, sometimes the police just brush it off. But it seemed, by the way it was edited, at least on the Netflix doc, that they seemed very receptive and they were trying to be very helpful, and they kind of took lead. Was that the case, or do you guys really have to ride them?
I don't want to bash anybody. I think the family would really like to thank the FBI, the Jackson Police Department, Teton County Sheriff's Office, the U.S. Park Service, the Forest Rangers, Suffolk County Police Department, specifically Detective Tracy Barry and Stu Cameron, the commissioner at the time there. And we are very grateful for all of them, I think, is the best thing we can say.
That's a good way to put it. Nikki, you had pulled a couple more questions. Let's do this one next, which is
this was more of a highlight.
Yeah.
I just wanted to there's been a couple of these types of statements, and I just thank you for bringing that up, because this is the goal. We want to give people a voice, give them the courage, and I appreciate just someone saying this.
There was also a 911 dispatcher in there too, who is on duty right now. Did you see that, Nick?
Mm-hmm. Did you see the private chat?
There was this question also that you put up there, Nikki, which is, does anyone know? Which I think that if you answer this one, you're going to have to answer the van question too, though.
Hold on, I lost my background over here. So we mentioned this the other night. The mattress was not in the van; it was missing out of the van. I think they mention it in the doc as well.
And it's never been found.
No, never. Not sure where it was disposed of or whatever, but it's never been found.
Yeah, one of the questions I had, you have, because we saw it all. I mean, you have all of Gabby's videos and photos. I assume her computer and her camera and her phone were they left inside the van? Is that where it was recovered? Brian didn't try to destroy any of that or get rid of it? Because I was just wondering where you got where you recovered all of her home movies.
It doesn't appear that anything was destroyed. Everything was given back to us by the FBI. It seemed that everything was untouched. So yeah, there's a lot of photos and videos. So
there's another statement somebody made that I think I want to put up here for you, because I think it'll be good for y'all. Is this one? Ever since Gabby's name started trending again, I've seen so many comments of young women saying her story helped them realize or helped them leave.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a question. That was, again, more of a highlight, but I think a good one for y'all.
Yeah, we love to hear that, and that's why I wanted to kind of highlight those little how Gabby helped me or because of Gabby stories, because they really make us feel good.
So is there any other questions that you think you want to address?
Was there any other in the chats I haven't seen?
I mean, there's been a lot in the chat, but I don't know what you're comfortable answering or not. So I'm not.
There's just some that we can't answer. We don't want to answer. We don't want to give the time of day. We want to just focus on. There's things that we can't change. There's things that we have no control over. We have our own thoughts and opinions, but it doesn't matter at this point. And all that matters.
Let's talk about more positive things, because you have this huge platform now. Why don't we try to figure out, you have this amazing audience, all these people feel connected to you guys and to Gabby. how can everybody rally behind you guys now and help you guys? And,
Well,
and how can we keep Gabby's story right out in the forefront and her spirit alive, and then also help you guys at the foundation? What are very specific things that people can do?
And before they answer that, I want to say this to everybody who's watching this on TikTok or on Instagram or YouTube. If you are sitting in this room, we have 1,600 people here. If you aren't following Jim and Nikki, then take a second while I'm talking and go follow them. If you want to, you can also go find the Gabby Petito Foundation and follow that. And on YouTube, Nikki, I don't know if you have a private channel, but I know the foundation does. The Gabby Petito Foundation on YouTube has a page. Go seek it out. In fact, I can put it, and I'll tell you, I can put it in the show notes after this is done. I can put the link to y'all's YouTube.
So just a tip on YouTube, when you go to like find the channel in the search bar, you have to type in channel. Otherwise, you're just going to get tons of other videos about the Gabby Petito story or the foundation. So just type Gabby Petito Foundation channel and it'll pop right up.
I mean, so first and foremost, you guys need money. You know what most people don't understand, to create educational videos, to create programs, to travel and speak. These things all cost money. It just doesn't come out of the sky. And as you addressed earlier, you guys didn't get $3 million from Brian. So you know, how can they get you guys money? How can they donate to you guys? How can they show some love and support to you guys to really help you guys continue doing this?
Well, we always say every little bit counts, and a lot of people are helping. A lot of people are going to our store and buying some of our merch. They're donating. They're just spreading the word. They're sharing our socials so other people can donate. And you can hold a Facebook fundraiser. You can have a local fundraiser in your town and donate that way, because sometimes that's fun. But every little bit counts. Even if somebody sends us $1, imagine 1 million people sent us $1. That would be amazing. So yeah.
By the way, it's not that crazy to think we could do that. I mean, you know, so
not everybody is in a position where they can, and that's okay too. And so what I would say is one of the best ways that you can honor her is our daughter received so much attention worldwide. And there are so many people out there that do not get the same attention as her, persons of color, indigenous people, when they go missing or they're a victim of a crime. Share their stories. If you're not following any of the missing persons pages like the Aware Foundation, Missing in USA, if you're not following him on TikTok, Missing in America, any of those ones, Black and Missing Foundation, follow those pages, share their stories. If you share it and 10 other people share it, and then that multiplies, just maybe that missing persons poster will get into the hands of somebody who has information that can help find them. That is one of the easiest things you can do just on that end. It goes a long way. It means a lot to the families. We can see the algorithm on our sites, who gets lots of shares and who doesn't. When Dan from Missing in USA goes on TikTok for an Amber Alert, we can see how many people are on his live. And then when it's a person of color, you'll just see hundreds of people drop out, and it's absolutely disgusting. So let's find these people. Let's spread the word. Let's bring them home. That's the first thing you can do. Something else.
Same with our Native American friends too.
And same with indigenous. It's terrible. If I was to start spitting out statistics of what they go through, it's absolutely appalling. And then have those tough conversations with your kids on the DV end about what those respectful relationships look like. What safe boundaries are. Justin, I know we talked about it last night, and we're not just saying this because you're a friend. I learned lessons from your books as an adult. Those books are absolutely amazing about boundaries. Having those conversations, letting your kids know that you are somebody that they can come to, that they can speak to. Try not to drive them away. If they are in a bad situation, if it's a friend or a family member, don't give them that ultimatum, like you need to leave this person right away. It's, right away. Otherwise, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. That's not what they need. Be there, be supportive of them, help them, listen to them. And when they're ready and it's time and it's safe for them and they start developing a safety plan to get out, be there to support them. And those are things that you can do right off the bat. Like, it doesn't even have to be anything through our foundation. That's just being the best version of ourselves for everybody. And I think that's huge and can go a long way.
So somebody asked if you guys have an official PayPal account that we could post up.
Yeah, it's our donate button. So let me see. Do you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah, we put it in the chat, and Justin can put it up so we could see the actual link, or people could just go right now and do it if they want, rather than go through the website.
I kind of feel like I want to show you guys this comment too, which is I was arrested for defending myself against my ex when I was 18, and I admitted to hitting him back.
Yeah, we see this time and time and time again. And this is where we have to try to fix the training for the dynamics of what is going on, what's really going on when law enforcement responds to domestic violence, because it's not always that clear cut, because as somebody's physically injured, let's find out what's been happening for the last, however long they've been together.
So I'm posting on TikTok and on obviously YouTube. It's up there. The link to y'all's PayPal, and I will also put this in the show notes for anybody on who's watching this later.
It's linked in all our socials too, and just if on our website, there's just a button on top. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so a lot of people are asking. There are some like questions that are like made for Joe in here, but I know you can answer them anyways.
I asked him who's coming in.
If he wants to, I can send him a link.
Hey, just real quick. It's 7:52 p.m. Pacific time. I'll match every dollar that's donated between now and 8 o'clock up to $5,000.
8 minutes.
So everybody go on the PayPal right now and start donating money, and I'll match it. I'll match up to $5,000 for the next 7 minutes now.
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Dan.
So if everybody can jump by even $1, $2, $5, whatever you guys can.
I'm gonna go in there.
It's great. Netflix gave you guys this, the audience. It reunited the audience, but now we need to put the machine behind you guys so you guys can go out and do all this good work. And you guys, the people don't realize is they live, eat, and breathe this every day. These guys are the real deal. They really want to go out and help people, and the only way they can really do that is with money. So we have to get them money. So if you guys go on right now and donate, and I'll let Jim and Nikki will tell you how much they raise at a later point, but I will definitely match it. So let's just go ahead, and if you guys can go help these guys, that'd be great.
People are asking where the PayPal link is. I'll post it one more time, but it's also on their foundation. I can't pin anything, but I can post it on TikTok. If you are on YouTube watching, it's what's across the thing, which is a bit long, but you could screenshot it or go to that.
Again, it's also I'll match it up to 5,000. Period. Just if we can raise 5,000 tonight from now until the end of this chat, I'll match it. So whatever we raise during this chat, I'll match.
You can go to the Gabby Petito Foundation page, and there's a button there. Where's the button when they go there, Nikki?
It's right on top. It's a big blue button that says donate.
Okay, so really easy. Can't miss it.
Dan, you're making me cry. I legitimately have tears coming to my eye, man.
I kind of wish I didn't have my books at the lowest price they could be. Otherwise, if they were at their normal price, I'd be like, I'll donate all proceeds, but I literally have them at cost right now. But I'll change it for the next time we do this, and I'll donate all proceeds of that to y'all as well.
Did you want to text Joe?
Dan, you're truly an amazing friend. We're so great. We're so grateful for everybody we have in our life.
You guys are doing such great things, and then in the middle of a tragedy. I don't know. I work with a lot of families who lost their children. I don't know what I would do in your situation. I say this all the time with a lot of families I work with. I mean, part of me would want to crawl up in a hole and never come out of it. But it's really courageous how you guys are just being so out there right now and trying to help other people to make sure no one goes through this. And, and you're, even listening to what Joe said in the doc, and you guys all of a sudden realized all these other people that are missing, and you have to get the word out and help people. It takes a special person, and in this case, we have 4 of you that take a tragedy like this and turn it into something special. So I think that's why everybody is so behind you guys. You guys have like this huge base of people. So if we could find a way to rally these troops the same way they did, you know, you had millions of people looking for Gabby when this story broke. And let's take this same community and let's rally behind now trying to find other people, and also rallying behind your foundation to take it to the next level where we can go out there and educate people, but also, you know, create watchdog groups and more awareness, and just people really going out and trying to bring awareness. I mean, that's one of the great things about social media. People, the police like to complain about it because they say that sometimes TikTokers and people interfere with investigations. But if it wasn't for TikTok and it wasn't for people like Justin or Olivia, and the Bethune, we may not have found Gabby. We may not have even known the end of this. And so think of all the good things we can do if people rally together and we continue doing this. And we should support your foundation. It can support all your future endeavors. You guys know what I'm trying to do with you. I want you guys to keep doing this and you know, and keeping her spirit alive. Because it was infectious, and now we could all see it firsthand. I mean, that was one of the things I loved the most about the Netflix doc. We all saw the videos, we all saw stuff leaked before, and we all fell in love with Gabby before. But it's hard not to fall head over heels in love with your daughter after watching that doc. I mean, she was a special person, and you could really see it. And you know, it's funny. My 13-year-old son asked, "I don't understand why she didn't leave him." And I said, because she saw the good in everybody, and it was obvious.
I think Katie really, we're echoing a little bit again.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan. I think Katie last night really laid it out really well when she said she was being asked questions from the police and how she was answering them. She basically felt like she was answering questions for 2 different people: the person she loves and cares about, and the person who did something horrific to her, and how confusing it is for them in that moment to make the realization that those 2 people are the same person. And I think that's something that a lot of people who haven't gone through that don't understand. We love our daughter. We miss her every single day. I would trade my own life. So even if it meant she only had 15 more minutes on this planet with her family, with her brothers and her sisters, to be back here, that's how much we miss her. But that's not an option. And so she's now beyond. And every day we're getting emails of people who've recognized her story and have gotten out of these bad relationships safely. And my whole life I worked in a fire service, and you know, I have all this stuff behind me here that I thought that was the only way that you can save people's lives, was doing something like that. Until we got involved in this and we realized how big of a problem this was, how many people go missing, how many people are victims of violent crimes, how many people are victims of DV, and how many other people need to be saved. And so our direction in life has changed, and we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going until we can't go anymore. I think Joe's got the best sayings. He really does. Like, I think he stays up at night sometimes thinking of how to word things, but he said, put us out of business. Put us out of business. Put an end to this. And that's what we're going to do. You know, that's what we're about. And, you know, we don't have money. We've never had a lot of money. We're going out of this world the same way we came in, you know, broke and naked. And we're just going to keep fighting until the time is done.
And I don't want to say something because I know that Dan's being very generous in matching dollar for dollar up to 5,000. And I want to remind people that a few years ago, we sat in this live with a lot less people, and we raised money to fly banners twice around a house. And I can tell you right now, if you remember right, those banners, which were all crowdfunded, each were more than the $5,000 that we're trying to do. And if we could crowdfund the banners, which did something that was very, I don't know what the word to describe it. It was definitely a statement. We'll say that. Then we should be able, this is so much more important than that. And again, you can go donate. If we have 1,100 people in the live on TikTok, another 300 here, give or take. You know, if everybody gave $3, $2, think about what that could do. is all I'm saying.
Yeah, and also if you don't have money to spend, but you happen to be a media professional or a social media professional, you can reach out to me at dan@10livescontent.com. We're helping the foundation, the family, create videos and do other things to give them the tools that they need to go out and help educate people and keep the story alive and hopefully create change. So if you guys want to help that way, if you want to volunteer time, I'll be more than happy to make you guys part of the team, because we need to arm these guys with the tools that they need, not only money, but also videos and brochures and all sorts of things that they need to go out and be able to tell the story, because this is a complex situation. The great thing about what they have on Gabby's story, it's heartbreaking, but the thing that we have that makes this story stand out, that I think the reason why we can create so much change with this, is that the body cam footage from Moab shows the way things normally, like the fact that they blamed it on her. They got the story wrong, and they didn't recognize these clear markers that she was a victim. We can use that footage, and my goal is to make a bunch of educational videos where we can educate law enforcement and other people to realize, even friends and relatives, to realize if your loved one is a victim of domestic violence. So as heartbreaking it is to watch that video, the body cam footage could save millions of lives if we create the right tools to be able to go out. And so that's going to take resources to do that. And so I welcome any of you. If you can't donate money, you can always reach out to me. You can email me, and I'll be happy to see if you can help us somehow in the team. And then also when these videos and all these tools that we're trying to create for the foundation are done, we need help getting the word out. Like when these guys come speak in your hometown, they're always on the road. Go look at their schedule. Go out and support them. I mean, you can meet the family. They go out and they speak. They want to meet you. So go out and help support them at these events that they do. And then, or maybe even volunteer it and try to bring people with you, because it's way more common than any of us, ever know. I mean, I had dinner with Jim and Nikki in Vegas, and my head was ready to explode by the end of dinner, just finding some key stats out of how common domestic violence is, and how almost all of us probably, you may not know it now, but I'm telling you, people are victims of domestic violence, and you also know abusers, and you may not know it, but it's unbelievable on how common this is. And so we need to help educate people on what the warning signs are and how to recognize these type of things, so we can help cut these things off at the pass.
And I'll add to that, you get Jim to start rattling off some of the statistics that he has, your mind will be absolutely blown, which we're not going to make him do tonight, because he's done it before, and we will have him do it again. But like, it's insane. In fact, to tell you how common it is, Jim, was it last week I sent you that? A friend of mine in Atlanta was literally just driving home. He's a teacher, and he had to get out and get involved in a domestic dispute that was happening like literally in the street, where a man was like beating his wife, and like he had to stay for the police. And it was just that he was literally just driving by and saw it. So, I mean, it's incredibly common.
And I said to you, if he wasn't there, God knows what would have happened. I'm sorry that he had to get involved in that. But I'm really sorry for that person who was experiencing it. But thank goodness he was there. Yeah. Thank goodness. And you know what? Another thing out there, the majority, most abusers are men, but the majority of men aren't abusers. But it's really going to take men to stand up to each other and to stand up for what's right and defend women, because women have been fighting this battle for decades with little to no help. And it's about time we get on board and start changing the narrative, so we are more trusted people and better people and more respectful people. And until we do, we're going to be fighting this battle to the end of time. So that's what it's going to take. It's going to take us. And I told that story last night about what happened to our other daughter.
I think you should, if you're okay with it, I would tell, if you don't mind, because if you're okay with telling again, I think you should, because one, I think it's what happened was incorrect, but as far as what that person did, but two, my favorite part about that story that you shared was how you looked at the friends and basically told them that they were just as bad, if not worse. And I think that that was such a powerful example. I mean, if you want to share that one again, please feel free, because I think it was a very powerful story.
Yeah, we were just on a vacation in January. We were on a cruise. We have 3 other children other than Gabby. We have a son and 2 daughters. One daughter, she's 16. She wasn't feeling well all day, so she was sleeping most of the day, and it was kind of later in the evening, and she wanted to go get some food. So we went down to a little restaurant arcade, and while we were down there, it wasn't a lot of people, but in the arcade area where we were, there was a pool table. There was 3 men who had obviously been drinking, and she had to go to the bathroom. And as she walked by them, one of them turned around and made one of the most lewd, disgusting comments I probably ever heard come out of a person's mouth to my daughter. And she went to the bathroom. And I've been thinking about this more and more after the fact, but she went to the bathroom and she came out, and I said, sweetheart, and she fawned, right? There's fight, flight, or fawn. So fawning is kind of like, doing that, like, protective nature. So she kind of giggled and fawned and like just put her head down and walked by. And so when she came over by me, I asked her, did he say this to you? And she was like, yeah, but it's fine. I said, no, that's not fine. And she's like, Dad, don't embarrass me. I said, I'm not going to embarrass you, but please sit down for a second. And I went over and I confronted him. And I said to him, did you say this to my daughter? I go, my 16-year-old daughter. I don't know how old she was. I said, her age doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that she's 16, 26, 36, 56. No one wants to hear those words come out of anybody's mouth. It's absolutely disgusting and rude. And I said, what pisses me off even more is your 2 friends right here watching you heard you make that comment. They looked at you because they knew you were wrong, and you didn't do anything to correct him and stop him. Shame on you. You all have mothers. Some of them had wedding bands on. I don't think you'd want anybody to say that to your wife, your daughter, your sister, anybody. I said, shame on you. It's absolutely disgusting. And I said, you need to do better. Do better as men. And I said, you are going to come over here and apologize to her. The only words out of your mouth are going to be, I'm sorry, and you're going to walk away. And he came over and he said, I'm sorry. And then he tried to say more. And I go, now you're done. Go back. And hopefully tomorrow morning when you wake up, you're going to be a better person. And you're going to treat people better, because that was absolutely disgusting. 15 years ago, my response would have been a lot different, but it wouldn't have been helpful. And all I can hope for is those 3 individuals, when they woke up the next morning, they look at things differently, and hopefully they were ashamed of themselves and they do better for the future. And that's what it takes. It takes us calling each other out when something's not right, understanding why women feel uncomfortable around men, why when a woman is walking down the street and a man's coming the other way, she is naturally uncomfortable. Why when they say, if I was lost in the woods, I'd rather be trapped, lost in the woods with a bear versus a man. And we make a joke about it. Well, stop making a joke about it. Let's actually stop and listen and realize why they're saying that. Because we've given them every reason to think that. So let's stop that. And let's start holding each other accountable. And there's some great organizations out there. A Call to Men, Tony Porter, who's got great programs out there teaching these boundaries and respectful relationships. And we need more of that. We spend a lot of time teaching girls about red flags. So imagine a world where they didn't have to learn about red flags, because we never put them in that situation. So let's start there. Let's start teaching us how to be respectful. And I was thinking more and more after this, I'm wondering if I wasn't there that night when that was said to her, and my mind started running away. Like, would he have followed my daughter into that bathroom? Would he have followed her out of that arcade? What would have happened? How far would he have gone if somebody didn't call him out and check him on that? And it really bothered me. And if it wasn't my daughter, was it going to be somebody else's? So yeah, we're a problem, and we need to address it.
And to add to that, for any of the men that are watching this, I don't know how many we have in here, because I know that typically my audience is mostly women. But for the men that are in here, the issue with guys like what Jim's talking about, the ones that, women would rather choose a bear over. And yes, we all know it's not all men, but that's not a helpful statement, because it's all men until it's no man. But those type of guys don't listen to women. They don't value or respect women. So it takes other men calling them out and checking them, letting them know that it's not okay. And I hate that that's the way it is. But for guys like that, that's how it is. So you need to, when you see something, you need to say something. You got to confront it. Just be smart how you do it.
I think by what I was saying, 15 years ago, my response would have been a lot different. I probably would have approached that situation a lot differently. And I could tell you that it probably would have ended in one of us in handcuffs and another one going to the medical center. Not sure who, but that doesn't help. That doesn't prove anything. That doesn't prove anything to my daughter. I know it was probably embarrassing for a 16-year-old, but I hope 5-10 years from now, she looks back on that and says, that was the right thing. And hopefully there's more people out there as she gets older that would do the same for her. That's all I hope she can look at that as.
Well, you definitely did the right thing, because, there's an old saying that you're better off playing chess and not boxing. We can't box our way out of this. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a societal way of life for some people. And so we need to educate people, and we need to change the way people view others and treat others. And that's not going to be fixed by someone getting violent towards someone else, and so this is going to take a lot of people to band together and try to change the way people view others and the way they disrespect others. And, I don't understand why people treat other people like that. We all know my work in Hazen, and I hate bullies, but I don't understand how someone could even treat someone that they supposedly love or care about in an improper way. But, a lot of it has to do with the way people are raised. And it's kind of terrifying what's going on right now. We're seeing like kind of a shift globally right now, with people exerting power over others and this kind of real cocky macho attitude. That has to kind of change. People have to care about each other a little more. And so you guys have a very tall order ahead of you. There's no easy way to fix this situation. There's many different things you have to educate people on how to recognize it. Also how to get the word out to hopefully save someone's life, but also you have to kind of change the way people view others. And I don't know how you're going to do that. It's a very tall mountain to climb. So that's why we have to put as many people behind this as possible. This is what you guys are doing is nothing short of courageous and extremely admirable, given what you went through. But seriously, you guys are some of the most passionate people I've ever met. And that's why I really want people to know that. And because, there's a real genuineness here, and you're doing this for the right reasons. And, if people could crowdfund and put, banners up in the air, people could certainly back your foundation to go out and do a whole lot of good work.
And all that, Dan, and honestly, I'm not trying to go whatever with you guys, but y'all are truly what I've told anybody who knows that I know y'all, and this is for the people listening, that when they saw you back on TV, or even now they see it now, that you guys are exactly those people. There's no acting there. But truthfully, y'all are some of the best people that I know, period. All of you, all four of you. And, they deserve, they deserve to have the foundation funded. They didn't ask to be thrust into this situation. And I, as Jim said, they would give literally anything for 15 more minutes. But this is the hand that they've been dealt, and they've done amazing things with it. And we have to make sure that they continue to be successful at doing that. And like Dan said, when we crowdfunded that banner, I had 250,000 followers and a live much smaller than this. Now we're at 1.6 million with a live that's got 1,000 in it, another again, however many on YouTube, which we'll be watching later. Give $1, $2, $5, whatever you can, if you can. If not, share it. Share a story, a missing person, whatever. But this is stuff they have been working diligently ever since this happened to get laws changed, to educate people, to get stats out there, all while working. Like Jim works. I don't know what you're doing full time, Nikki. I know you have a lot of stuff on your plate, but I know like Jim still works, a traditional 9-to-5 full time job. Joe still works a traditional 9-to-5 full time job, and then he comes home, and then both of them work another 80 hours a week on the foundation. So,
and by the way, you guys should just be on the foundation full time. That's where I want to get you guys. But just, even with my 5,000, if it gets matched, that's $10,000. That's not even enough to do tax returns for a 501c3. I mean, people have to understand how much it costs to have a proper charity and to do everything. If they want, Justin mentioned getting laws changed. I was just involved. I followed a group of families trying to get a Hazen law implemented, a federal law. It took 6 years, and they had a lobbying firm that was paid over $500,000. So even with $500,000 behind the most prestigious lobbying firm on the Hill, and 6 years of time, it took that long and that much money. It takes a lot of money and a lot of effort to even get a bill passed these days, especially in our world. Everything's so broken right now in Washington. So if they are going to create meaningful change, it's going to unfortunately come down to money. And that's where we can use help. And, just sharing their story and keeping alive what they're doing, like if everybody does a birthday fundraiser on Facebook and you get even $25 raised, these guys can go do a lot of good work with that. But they need to travel. They need to create the tools to be able to tell the story. They're going to need to get a staff eventually. There's a lot of things that go into a proper foundation. And, the thing that they have a story that everybody grabbed onto. We know there are millions of people that were touched by the story. So let's now repay the favor and let's show them how much them sharing their story with us meant to all of us. And if we could help them get to the next level, I promise you they will save lives and they will create a lot of change, because these guys are the real deal. And you could see how special his family is. They're even a model family for divorced families. The unity that they had on how they raised Gabby. There's no wonder Gabby was so infectious, because she had 4 parents that all equally loved her. It's hard not to fall in love with your family and want to help you guys. And so I hope other people will step up and now help you guys turn this horrible tragedy into something good. That's why we're getting behind you guys. We really want people to see, guys, I was sick last week and I was in the hospital. The first people to text me were Jim and Nikki, seeing if I'm okay, before my family. And then they texted me multiple times. These are the type of people that they are. And so, I think we need to now rally behind them and let's help them turn their grief into something really positive.
You know what we could do, Dan, because you mentioned something about a fundraiser. Gabby's birthday is a little bit less than a month away. What if we worked and used I don't know, we can talk offline and try to put something together, and we can maybe do just an all-day kind of fundraiser and see what we can do for the foundation.
Yeah, March 19th is a birthday.
And that's where everybody can help. If everybody can find time on Gabby's birthday and everybody rally together and we get people to watch the live and donate money, because let's kickstart this for these guys. Let's get them going to really, go, kick walls down, because unfortunately they're fighting an uphill battle. This is a really big problem. And there are a lot of foundations out there, but the thing that they have that other people have, we feel connected to this family. Okay. So they have something special here. Not only do we feel connected to them, so people will listen when they talk, but that body cam footage that the whole world has seen at this point could be the biggest tool ever in trying to end domestic violence, and also to help law enforcement recognize what a victim looks like. Don't underestimate the value of that body cam footage. As hard as it for them to watch, as hard as it is for Nikki to see her daughter cry out for her mother, that footage is going to save lives, 100%. So we need to get it out there in a context where we can show and discuss what people are seeing, and stop the video on the point and say, that right there, that was a telltale sign that she wasn't the aggressor, she was a victim. And so, and that right, that we create that tool, and law enforcement makes it part of their daily training. A lot of shit's going to change very quick.
Why I'm not trying to
Thank you, Dan.
I'm not trying to put you and your team on a spot, Dan. I mean, I guess I know I'm part of your team, I guess. So I guess I'm putting you on a spot too. But what if we were to take the footage and get with Jim and Nikki? I know it's hard, and be like, hey, where do you, I mean, I'm sure they already know it by heart, but What do we want to point out? What is this? You know, and then what if?
Well, we're already discussing doing.
We're
already discussing doing that. So when you create educational videos, like even when I did my Hazen ones, it's a little more complex than just getting the opinion of some. We have to bring psychologists and all sorts of law enforcement, everybody, because you're creating a tool that if you don't tell the story 100% accurately, it could actually backfire and cause other issues. But they have the best widget out there, and the fact that people already feel a connection to that, it just puts it on a whole nother level. And so we've already been talking about doing it. Look, it's on the top of our list right now to get them the tools that they need. Let's take that. That's the first thing I want to start with. I want to make an educational video of the body cam footage so they can go out and use that when they're speaking engagements and as a training tool, to not only help, people recognize, a loved one or a friend could be being abused, but also how to, mainly for law enforcement, because I think if law enforcement is better equipped and they learn to recognize what they're really dealing with, you look, everybody can watch the entire thing, the entire body cam, the entire thing. I think all 45 minutes is posted on YouTube. You can watch it start to finish, or it's over an hour, isn't it?
It's like an hour and a half. Yeah.
But you can, and you can come up with your own opinion. I do think they were trying the best, but they weren't trained properly. They didn't know any better, and that's part of the problem. If people were trained, because now that I know what I know after talking to you guys, it's crystal clear what was happening there. So if we get, and people, whenever they get put in training sessions, they tune out when an educational video comes on. This one's different because everybody feels a connection to Gabby. So we have a moment here that if we create something, people will embrace it and they'll want to watch it and they'll get sucked in, and will probably make an impact. So I really feel like you guys have a really interesting opportunity that other people don't, to create meaningful change very quickly. And that's why I want people to really rally behind you guys. And then other things, people are always going to feel connected to your family, the art exhibits, other things to keep Gabby's spirit alive. You have something, you at this point, you just can't walk away from this. You have to take it to the next level. And we have to, and all the people who are touched by their story, we owe it to the family to help them now do what they need to do. But we all feel connected. We all, grieve for you and with you. And so we can all together create real meaningful change here with Gabby's story and also with that body cam footage. And that's what's interesting, because most foundations have like one particular cause. You guys, domestic violence, as you know, is just a hub of a wheel, and there's so many different spokes to it. And, and it's a ballsy goal to come out and try to tackle all of these different areas, but you have so many great reasons why you should try to tackle that, and you have like people's attention. So before we lose the attention, that's why the urgency of trying to get money behind you guys so you can go out and do things is now. It's not 6 months from now. So we should plan something over her birthday to try to help you guys, because trying to build a foundation like you're trying to do is not an easy feat. So and I hope that the attention that you're getting today is still there in 6 months and a year and 2 years. And not just because it's a Netflix documentary, but people are really following this for the right reasons.
Thank you, Dan. Somebody had brought up the orb picture again. I don't know if she's still in here because it was a while ago, but
a lot of people actually brought it up. They wanted to
okay. Well, I shared it here. If you I don't know if you can pop it up.
Yeah, and real quick, anybody on TikTok, you won't see it. If you want to jump over to YouTube to see the picture with the orb, you can. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on this there quick. The picture. I mean, it's clear as day.
The spot where Gabby was found is directly behind us, where we're standing. So we're standing right in front of that spot. And
so
it's clear to me that, and Rose brought this up. So she says, where the orb is right next to her brother, Rose and Jackson, and that's kind of like where Gabby would have been standing if she was in the photo. So I was like, that's true. That's very true. Oh, it's really cool.
So After everything happened, I finally went back to work, and we caught a fire one day. And when we came out, my crew, somebody was like, "Hey, let me get a group shot of you guys." And it was a pretty dicey fire for a few minutes for us. And we came out, everything was good, and we're in front of the rig, and they took a picture. And when the picture came out, there was teal blue like wings, like right in front of me, and there was nothing that should have been like this color, teal blue orb standing right in front of me. And I remember showing Nikki. Nikki was like, "Those look like teal blue angel wings." I'd have to find that pic. And I'm like, holy crap, was she here with us today, keeping us safe? It was pretty wild.
That photo, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing now you look at it, but what was the vibe that day? Did all of you want to go to the site? Were some people hesitant? Were you guys hesitant?
We wanted to go. We planned the trip. We had been there prior, just the four of us. And then we wanted to bring the kids and any extended family that wanted to come. Gabby's godmother, Flora, she's standing in black next to Joe here. And then Joe's kids, Tara and me, and then Tara's other son, Gabby's grandmother, Mima, Sarah's mom there, Jim's behind, and then her Tara's very, very close friend and her husband came. It was just a beautiful day. The vibe was unbelievable. We didn't want to leave. We were there for a long time. I would say about 3 hours. I feel like we were there for about 3 hours. Yeah. It was just nice.
Yeah.
We did rocks. We, just hung out, walked around a little bit. It was beautiful.
By the way, when did you guys first see the orb? Did you notice it that day when you were there, or did you notice it when you got home?
I think it was when I got home. I was like looking through the pictures because we had like a shared album on the the Apple shared albums, and I was like, "Oh my God." I sent it to everybody. I was like, "Do you see this?" And everybody's like freaking out. So it was awesome. I don't know who saw it first. I just remember the first time I seen it, I started freaking out. I think I sent it to everybody, but Joe took the photo, so he put it in the album. I don't know if he spotted it right away, though. I'm going to try to put this up on TikTok, too.
I mean, and there's like a makeshift memorial there for her, too. After everything first happened, I made a cross for her out of stones, and I laid some flowers there and stuff. And since then, other people have come by and put some other little items there for her.
What are your thoughts about that? Are you okay that people go there? Would you prefer people leave that site alone, or? No,
it's a beautiful place. Anybody that's gone there has been respectful. They've left little messages. They've cleaned up the area a little bit. Make sure it's neat. So it's nice. Nice that people, when they go there, that they want to go and pay their respects to her. So that's just something that's nice, something that we are appreciative of.
I know that in our town in Northport, they have a bench, right? They have a memorial bench. Was there anything else like that done anywhere else, or?
There was a mural in our hometown.
There was a mural.
Oh, yeah.
Blue Point. Yeah. So the people have been really amazing with the man who built the bench. He came from Indiana, and I think he said he heard it on the radio that Northport was looking for, the Northport mayor was looking for somebody to build a bench, and he called and said, "I'll do it." And he just got his guys together, and they started it in Indiana, and they drove down with a trailer. And I think my cousin put them up in a hotel, and they finished the bench in Northport. Nicest guy ever. They were so sweet. They went boar hunting while they were in Florida. So they had a good time while they were here. But when they revealed it, it was an awesome moment. So
yeah, it's really nice.
photos and videos from that day as well. I've never shared. So yeah, got so many great memories.
Just very blessed.
If obviously you guys are just getting going right now on your speaking engagements and everything, but if people want to help, I maybe help them put you know, an engagement together, like at a community center or something. Can people volunteer and put groups together and try to bring you guys out to their town to speak?
Well, it's hard because of travel, but we do get a lot of requests for different conferences, school events. We recently got one for Long Island. They're going to do like a special sports game. I think it was a football game, and they're gonna have a big fundraiser at this event for our foundation. And well, they emailed us to ask us if they could, and I was like, that's amazing. Of course, because you know, Gabby's from Long Island, so that was really cool. So people can actually have fundraisers. Typically, they'll ask us if it's okay, and they can donate whatever they raise from that fundraiser to us directly. We don't have to be part of it.
Are you guys registered with Facebook so people can do like those birthday fundraisers and have your funds?
Yes.
So people can do that.
Yeah, sometimes
it glitches. If you have trouble finding it, please just message us, but it should be fine. Because I just like had to redo it, like update it or something recently, so it should be okay. They could do YouTube as well, has a fundraiser. I know that was glitchy, but if there's any YouTubers out there that, you know, have a lot of followers, you can always add a little button for a fundraiser.
We're a Network for Good, Benevity. I think a lot of those things.
Yeah, we get some people add us as their donor through their jobs, and it's not a ton of money, but like it's really cool. Like I don't know how that works, Jim. I don't know if you can explain that, but you can. Some jobs.
I don't know.
You know,
I had a buddy, like he worked for Estee Lauder, who, you know, if he does like volunteer hours and stuff like that, his company will like match a donation at, you know, certain points of the year to a charity of his choice. So he would always pick a charity. And I think that comes through Network for Good.
Yeah, by the way, that's a great thing to point out. If anybody watching works in corporate giving and they're at a major corporation or knows someone who does, please help put the foundation on the radar. And even things, think outside the box. If any of you all work for like an airline, you know, a hotel chain, you know, they could sponsor the foundation and just give Nikki, Jim, and Joe, like they can give these guys free airfares or even hotels to go out and speak, because these are the things that will eat them alive. They want to go out and speak, but they can't keep dropping $5,000 every time they have to go speak somewhere. So even having like, you know, Southwest or United or American as a partner is a big deal, because if they'll fly them to go speak, that's a big chunk that comes right off the top that the foundation wouldn't have to cover, or whoever wants them to come out would speak. So, you know, these are ways that people, you know, there's thousands of people that watch Justin's lives. So maybe out of all you guys, maybe someone knows someone, you know, that works at a major airline that maybe can help them, you know, get some kind of sponsorship for the foundation, or at a hotel or something, rental car company. It doesn't really matter. But these are things that if you can't really donate, if you just know people who can help, you know, and give some assistance on that, these things go a long way. Even like web designers. If anybody knows someone at Google that does the nonprofit ad credits and stuff and can help promote stuff, so when they do have videos, they could put a machine behind it.
I have a good one, Dan. If anybody knows anybody that can get us verified on, so that people don't scam us.
Yeah, that's the other weird thing. I sent videos my friend Meta. The fact that they don't have blue check marks is complete insanity, especially after what just happened with Netflix last week. I mean, they had the #1 show on Netflix, so you would think that Meta would respond right away, but they're still not verified. So even if you know someone that works,
I'm going to be on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm going to Atlanta for the invite only. Like, I'm going to meet you real quick. There you go. Instagram Unfiltered, which was an invite only thing. So I'm driving down to Atlanta on Wednesday. I'll ask somebody while I'm there. But Scott supposedly has somebody that's supposed to be able to do it too.
Scott's our agent for all of us. Scott, if you're listening, which I doubt he is, but if you are, please get them verified.
Yeah, there was a recent one I posted. It was an Instagram, and I think this account's been up for a while. They just keep changing it up. I think now they're trying to impersonate Tara, saying, and then they do ask for money. Like they put like different things on there that you could purchase, like memberships and stuff. And it's like, I don't know who these people are, but I hope that people don't think that we do that, because we would never, especially from our personal accounts, ever blatantly ask you for money. Of course, we're a foundation and we're like, please donate if you can or help us out. But
they just don't do it to us. They do it to everybody. I've seen it where like volunteer fire departments, they do like a fund drive letter every year because they need money to support the volunteer fire department, and people send out these fake letters and emails to people. So, just I always say, if you get anything like that, question it, because we don't solicit that way for donations. So you could always bring it to our attention. Go to like our info at GabbyPetitoFoundation.org and send us like a link or whatever if somebody sends something like that to you. That way we can kind of address it right away. And I would say that would be for any organization that you come across that sends you like a request for that. Like, just protect yourself. There's a lot of scammers out there, so just be cognizant of that.
I have on TikTok, I have a bunch of like fake accounts, but one of them has been scamming people, and I don't know if I've told you about this at all yet, but I think y'all know that I have a burner account that like you have no idea it's me. Nobody knows what it is. It's just for when Just in the Nick of Crime can't say something, but I want to say something. And my scammer has reached out to that account. And I've been chatting with him for like the last 2 weeks. He has no idea it's me. And it's a crypto scam, is what I found out. And TikTok doesn't really do anything about it. So that is why the verification is really important, especially on Meta. And I think that, again, I'll ask the right questions. We'll see what we can do while we're there, at least for the foundation and for you guys. If I have to call y'all while I'm there, we'll do that.
The problem with the verifications, like, the people that do all the verifications are kind of lower level people, and so they change over a lot because they only usually stay in that job role for like 6 months to 2 years, and then they move up the ladder. So there's another person that comes in. So you develop a relationship with someone, and then they're gone. In 6 months, they move to another area of the company, and it's like they're not handling that anymore. And so it's just nothing. There's no rhyme or reason behind it, but you have the foundation at this point has to be verified, because you guys are way too high profile. It's just pure insanity that you're not verified. We have to figure that out.
Dan, what about doing a fundraiser in Nashville at your friend's place where we had the one thing?
Sure. Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely. Yeah.
In Nashville anyways.
Yeah. I think we should do a weekend there, because they do corporate retreats there. We should do a domestic violence seminar weekend where people could register, and we have fireside chats and all sorts of stuff that we could program in all the different buildings. We could do a cocktail party at night. But I mean, that's a perfect place to have some kind of conference. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see these guys on a bigger stage. Like, oh yeah, and if anybody would like to see us come do all this live, like, I think we should do something big at CrimeCon as well. And I sent them an email proposing that they put us all on a panel to talk about this stuff. But I mean, this is such a complex situation. I mean, this is very complex, dealing with domestic violence. And so the good news is people will pay attention to you guys right now.
Yeah.
So we want to take advantage of that, and we really want to help give you guys a bigger platform. And so, again, anybody can email me, dan@10livescontent.com. And if any way you can help, it doesn't have to be money, even with services. If you can, donate things, if you want to put a conference together, and like you work at a hotel and you say you want to donate a ballroom to us, maybe we can make something work. But they need resources, and it's not just money. So if you could take things off, if you could we could check a box off that they don't have to worry about airfares ever again, then that's a big deal.
That'd be great.
So yeah. And the smallest donations, I don't care if it's a bake sale or a car wash or a Facebook marketplace, there's thousands of people. If everybody did that, these guys would have a lot of money in their bank account.
Sarah Dawn's asking if you guys are going to possibly do another Crime Con raffle for this year.
Yes.
Okay.
We are. We'll find that out really soon because I know we did one for Denver already, but they said we're going to probably do another one for something. I don't think it's going to be the big prize, but we'll see what they give us.
Sarah says she wants to go really bad, so there you go. I guess, I appreciate you guys answering everything tonight. I know that it's hard to open these wounds and deal with all the people on the internet, and I think that hearing a lot of what you guys addressed, things that we see coming straight from your mouth, kind of like what Joe did yesterday, is a really good thing. And I will also, because we would be remiss, right, Dan, if we didn't plug the podcast Real Victims. So Dan and I are co-hosting a new podcast called Real Victims. I'm going to mute you for a second because I'm echoing a little bit, Dan. I'll unmute you in a second. We're co-hosting a podcast called Real Victims, and I will put the link. If you're watching on TikTok, the Apple Podcast link is in my link tree. You can go listen to it. Basically, what happened was Nikki and Jim and Rose came on to this show and talked about the Lifetime movie that was made without their permission, without them consulting, and they critiqued it. But I will tell you, outside of even doing that, because I've been listening to it this afternoon and I forgot about a lot of what we talked about, there's information that we haven't talked about tonight that hasn't been in documentaries, things like that you will hear there. And again, it's very interesting. And that's kind of the goal of that podcast, is to give victims or the families of victims a voice and try to hold Hollywood accountable for what they do. Because for the Gabby Petito story, for example, which is what Lifetime did, and I'm not encouraging you to watch it, go watch it, listen to our podcast, you'll get what you need to know from it. But they'll put based on a true story, and the only thing that's true is they got the names right. And that's about it. So that's kind of what the first episode was about.
Not only, but yeah, but
well,
it's what, 20% accurate, would you say? 20-ish. Yeah. The body cam scene, because they couldn't fib that one because the whole world saw it. But yeah.
And the person who played me, that was spot on.
Yes, you and Rose are very happy.
Why, of course.
Hold on. Can I put him back up for you? Let me see if I can put him back up for you.
No, but you know what? Hats off to you guys for being so transparent and open to talk to people. I know it's a tough subject to talk about, and you guys have to be really emotionally and physically drained at this point after the past couple weeks. And and so we appreciate you guys, being so open to talk to us. But I know that all the people who followed your story, they appreciate the fact that you're so willing to speak to them and answer these questions, and set the record straight on things. But also, I know everybody appreciates how you guys are, trying now to turn this into something positive, which is a tough thing to do. And, we
say it all the time.
Very apparent. And, even though we joke and stuff, we know that this is a very sad topic for you guys. And so, we feel for you guys. And I want to keep encouraging people to keep helping you guys, because this is, this could have, a great impact on the world. And it already has already, and it just could, there's a very cliche thing where people say you could change the world, but you guys have millions of people connected to this story already. So we have to take those millions of people and then try to turn them loose now on ending domestic violence.
Listen, people deal with grief in different ways. And for anybody that, when they have something horrific and tragic happen in their life, if they choose to try to go back to some semblance of a normal life, whatever that may look like after the fact, that's fine too. We felt compelled. We felt, and it was really Nikki. Nikki was the one, because, we've said it before, the same social media platforms that we had to help find Gabby and find information quickly turned into people seeing the story and saying, she helped me. You don't know me. You've never met me, but she helped me. And we couldn't sit back as a family and not do anything. If it wasn't for the four of us, five of us really, we would not be where we are today. And now our board has grown beyond that. But that's our mission, and that's what we do. That's how we choose. It is a bit cathartic to us at times, being able to try to help people. But this is what we feel our path is. This is what we're drawn to do, and we can't let her death be in vain. And we can't sit back and watch it happen to anybody else. And even if it's just one person, to us, it's what it's all about. So we just want to help people. That's it.
Yeah. We have nights where we can't sleep and we think about things that are horrible, but we get through it. It's part of grief. So just Gabby wouldn't want us to be sad all the time. We always say that. So we just do what we can. And
for anybody out there, this is something that we constantly have to do ourselves. In order to fill anybody else's cup, you need to fill your cup first. So I think something we've really gotten better at over time is self-care. Self-care is huge. So you have to take care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish, it's selfless. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. Make sure you're taking time to do the things that you enjoy, to unwind. We all have different stresses in our life. Take care of yourself, because you can't fill anybody else's cup if your cup is empty. And just do that and take time to enjoy those small moments in your life with your family, with your friends. If there's something you want to do, don't wait. And you have the ability to do it, go do it. Go do it. Go live life. Go enjoy life. Life is too short. Life is unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. So if you're going to learn anything from Gabby, that would be one thing. She did amazing things in her short 22 years. And I think as parents, we still aspire to be more adventurous like her. And take pictures, Sarah. Yeah, take the picture.
mm-hmm.
Take the picture. Something I didn't do enough of. I didn't take the picture. I was always the one taking the picture, not in the picture. But be in the picture. Physically and yeah.
I did want to share. Dan mentioned her bench before. Justin, I don't know if you pop that up quick. Some people might not have seen it ever. This was when it was first done. There's flowers around it now. This was an older photo, but this was when it was just freshly done, and he put butterflies like attached to it all around it, and it's just really nice.
Great bench.
Yeah. His name was Aaron. He came down and built it, and just there's a beautiful saying on there, and it's just really nice. And we love
Go ahead.
We love to go visit it. So if you're ever passing through Northport, Florida, it's right there by the city hall. It's the city hall, the town hall, what they call it. It's right next to the police station. Yeah. It's also a Taco Bell there, which is nice. And
Nikki's
a Starbucks.
favorite.
Can I just say in the I don't know if it was Rose was talking about or whatever, it might have been a text message or something, but in the documentary, like after the whole taco-tastic day, like I just want to start saying that.
We should get Taco Bell as a sponsor.
Taco-tastic day.
Yeah.
She loved to say that. She thought it was the best thing ever.
I think it's the best thing ever.
Oh man. Yeah. She was so cute with that stuff. She put 1,000% to everything she did. And if you were gonna order a burrito at Taco Bell, you're gonna have the prettiest, best burrito you've ever had in your life. So, yeah.
So I've said this like time and time again. I have no artistic ability. I am like the least creative person in the world. I could throw a baseball, hit a baseball, throw a football. You put like a paintbrush in my hand and forget about it. Like I can't do anything with it. And Nikki, Gabby, all of our kids are amazing with that. Gabby used to always take the time when she was giving like gifts at like Christmas time to like make the most thoughtful handmade things ever. It was always amazing. And I remember, I think it was like the first Christmas after, or first or second Christmas after she graduated high school. And I was like, I really want to do something special for her. And I went out and I got her like all of these little knickknacks, and I wrapped like each one individually, like in this like really like cool like paper. And I really took my time to make it look nice. And I put it in this nice basket, and I handed it to her, and she was like, you did this? And I'm like, yeah, I did this. I'm like, you inspired me to do this. I'm like, because normally like, you know, my wrapping looks terrible and it's like whatever, it's store-bought thing. She was like, I don't even want to open this. I just want to take a picture of it. This is amazing. And it was like, it like melted my heart that I was like, oh my God. I'm like, I impressed, like, in my opinion, probably like Nikki's like an amazing artist, but like, I think Gabby took it like a level beyond her. I'm like, oh my God, like I impressed my daughter with this stuff. And she was like, she was so impressed by it. And actually, when we went to get her things from the FBI, she had some of those things with her still.
I don't think I
years later.
mentioned the tattoo gun in the documentary. I don't remember. I gave her a tattoo gun right before she left, and because I knew she would be great. So she'd put a tattoo on her brother. He's the only person in the world who has a tattoo by Gabby, and she was a natural. It's a perfect looking tattoo. Freehanded it. She just freehanded it. And yeah. She was like, maybe I could do something with this. I said, well, don't tattoo any strangers until you get licensed, please.
Will you guys share your tattoos? The whole family, you guys all have the same Gabby's tattoo, right?
Yeah. It's hard to get that screen here.
You also have on your arm, right? You have the triangle or the.
Yeah.
I saw Gabby's ex-boyfriend had that as well, right?
Yeah, he did. He got one, and it says Gabs next to it too. Yeah, he's a good guy. We didn't talk about Jackson at all. Did anybody?
Nobody asked, but I like him too.
He's a great guy. There's nothing not to like. He's just wonderful.
Yeah, he seems very, very like a very. Jim and I were talking about him, but it wasn't like online. But yeah, he seems very. Somebody just said this, and I don't know. Dan probably is like going to lunch tomorrow with the CEO of Taco Bell, but
no, but by the way, my head's fucking spinning about that. Like I'm thinking about. I think we should call Taco Bell. To be honest with you, I was actually going to Google and see if they support any domestic violence causes, because you would think, Gabby, you think that they would want to get behind this.
Well, somebody just said maybe if we knew what her favorite order was, they could maybe do like a meal, like a Gabby meal, and have the food go to. And Nikki's smiling because I guess it is. But can I just say too, and I think Lily, I think was her name in the TikTok comments, said this, and I agree. I don't know if any of y'all ever worked at a fast food restaurant. I worked at McDonald's when I was like 14 years old, and it was miserable. So to approach a fast food job with a positive attitude, I think tells you everything you need to know about her.
Well, that's what I love too, especially the story of Brian was like very negative about it, but it made her even happier. She's just like, I mean, I love that. That was such a charming part of the documentary on how they address that. But you know, she really loved it. I Taco Bell, if you're watching, please contact us.
I could actually see her probably getting in trouble at Taco Bell by like her manager for like taking too much time in making things look perfect. Like it's like slap the food in there, like we got to get it out, we got to move. But she was always wanted to make sure that everybody's meal or whatever she did was done right. And I could see like the manager going, "Oh my God, like get the food out, let's go." Like, come on. And she's like, "No, it's got to look good, it's got to be perfect. Have a taco-tastic day." You know. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that at Taco Bell. Usually it's like they call your name and throw a bag at you, like, get out.
She had this tiny little lisp, so I could picture her just the way she would say it would be so cute. Yeah. So,
she had to make that up because that can't be. I've been eating at Taco Bell for many, many years, and I've never had anybody wish me a taco-tastic day ever.
I think it's the manager and management's all different.
I just checked to see if her birthday fell on a Tuesday. We could have gone Taco-tastic Tuesday, but it's a Wednesday this year, so we have to wait.
Damn.
I was hoping that it would fall on a Tuesday this year. We could have launched a whole campaign around it.
I think what we should challenge people to do is let's do a trend here. Maybe if you go to Taco Bell and record yourself doing this and post it and hashtag like Gabby Petito Foundation, But when you get your Taco Bell order, you wish the Taco Bell person a Taco-tastic day and record it.
Yes.
Oh, we do.
I'm
like
gonna
the
do it because I go to
challenge,
Taco Bell.
but with the Taco-tastic Gabby Petito taco.
Yes.
Let's start
Hashtag
viral videos.
Taco Bell. Hashtag Gabby Petito, and then put the video up. Yeah, I like that.
I think we should do that. Could be a lot
And
of fun.
Taco Bell, if you're listening, you should donate $1 from every taco sold that we sell for you.
And I think we need to, so we can find it easily. We need to hashtag Taco-tastic.
Okay, yeah, that's the new word. Yep. That's for Gabby. We'll do it.
Dan, I'm so old. I remember when tacos were like 49 cents.
I know
There,
yeah. Remember when cheeseburgers were 39 cents at McDonald's? There's a whole.
Yeah.
I never
You
did
Yeah,
that.
I watched
used to
it.
go to McDonald's for birthday parties.
When I was sick, I watched The Founder the other day. You used to be able to get a full meal at McDonald's for 35 cents. That was the burger, the fries, and the soda.
That was a great movie. That was a great movie.
No.
Yeah. But
All right. Hashtag Taco-tastic. That's the new thing. Before we
don't
wrap
forget,
up,
Dan is still matching, right? We got to put that back up before we go.
yeah, let's do that. So real quick, if you've come in late, so here's a couple things that you need to know. One, okay, if you're watching this on TikTok, this entire live is being recorded on YouTube. We did mention and talk about a lot of things at the very beginning, so you can go to my channel or the Real Victims channel, which mine is Just in the Nick of Crime, and watch this whole thing in its entirety. But Dan has so very generously offered for anybody who donates to the Gabby Petito Foundation, which you can do so by going to GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. Dan is matching dollar for dollar up to $5,000. And so if everybody just gave even $1, it would make a big difference. And like I said, if you weren't in here earlier, Nikki's got a lot of things on her plate, taking care of a family. Jim takes care of a family, works a full 9 to 5. Same stuff goes for Joe and Tara. And they're still then putting, a ton of hours as another full-time job and then some, really, and then some into the Gabby Petito Foundation. Every little bit helps. It is going to help fight domestic violence. It is going to help change the way things are handled. And if it saves one life, it's all worth it. So please consider going and donating or purchasing some of their merch. I promise you it's incredibly high quality. And if you can't share a story, share a link to the foundation, something like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I just want to thank you guys for allowing me into your world. It's been a real eye opener, and I really enjoy, speaking to you guys, not just on these, but even privately. And, we're all here to support you guys, and, we have lots of other things that we're going to be doing. So it's the start of a great relationship. But I really want to applaud you guys for how you've handled this entire thing so far. And I know the past week was probably one of the toughest ones that you've had to endure so far, because you guys just got caught back up in the tsunami again. But the fact that, you're sitting here still and it's, midnight by you and you're still out there. I mean, we all know you guys have a lot of the responsibilities and things as Justin said, but the fact that you're still out here, helping raise awareness is just nothing short of spectacular. So thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Dan's the echo, by the way.
Can I just say something really quick? I see that some people are asking how they can volunteer, how they can get involved. It's hard on these socials, so please shoot us an email at info@GabbyPetitoFoundation.org. We get those emails, so I will see it. I don't have a whole lot of, help remotely right now that I need, but I need a lot of help. I need like 10 assistants. That would be amazing, but maybe someday. But yeah, so please
you need graphic artists, web designers, anybody that'll market. Also, we'll put I'll put Justin's cell phone up. He likes to call him between midnight and 5 in the morning. And, that's when he takes messages for these guys.
You want me to
in all seriousness, any kind of trade, if you work in marketing, whatever, if you guys have any nonprofit experience with helping with fundraisers, any kind of resources, tools you can give these guys, they're going to need it. But right now there's a lot of back end support and just trying to set up things and trying to, even come up with an automated booking system for people to send requests to the foundation for them to speak that could address everything from how many people would be there. Is there an honorarium? Is there a budget to travel them? Just all that, you know, fun stuff that nonprofits have, but that takes time and money to build those things. So if anybody has any expertise in that, you know, throw your hat in the ring.
I just donated to the foundation while you were talking to make you pay more, Dan.
I was thinking about doing the same.
It wasn't even to be generous. It was just to make you pay more money.
You know, you guys are getting it anyway. You know that, so it really doesn't matter. Come on.
No, and we want to thank everybody.
Now that
out
doesn't
there.
make it fun.
I mean, not just Dan and Justin for your friendship and all of your support. And I mean, you know, Dan, you have a million other things you could be doing, and you taking time to, you know, not just help us, but like your friendship, it means so much to us. And everybody out there that's on the lives and on YouTube and everything else, like you're all the reason why we keep fighting and keep pushing, you know, not just Gabby, the support that you give us. It goes a long way. It means a lot to us. And we are just so thankful for it. And I don't think we could say a million thank yous to everybody and it would be enough, but we do greatly appreciate all of you. We do so much. Gives us a lot of strength.
Well, hats off to a really successful week for you guys. I think you're still riding at number one. Gabby's obviously still captured everybody's hearts. You know, I think as of today, you still have the number one show on Netflix, which is just unbelievable. So you knocked Cobra Kai out. I know that. And so,
Robert De Niro.
That's my favorite.
What's that?
Yes, allegedly, maybe we do have stickers. I said Cobra Kai is one of my favorites, and
Mine too.
apparently we beat out a new Robert De Niro show. So that was
You did,
exciting.
and so you've had the top TV show. It's sitting firm there for the past week. So just congratulations on a great week. And you know, I was great. I texted you guys the other day. It was amazing. I woke up. First thing I do, I turn the TV on and boom, you're right on Good Morning America, right on my TV screen. So it just, you know, really, you should be very happy with how everything went this week. And hopefully there's many more great things to come from you guys.
Max
Thank
said
you.
number one in Australia too. I heard France as well. So thank you, everybody. That's
And
Gabby.
apparently
It's all
That's
Gabby.
100% Gabby, guys. It's 100% Gabby. It's not brilliant filmmaking or anything. That is your daughter. If she wasn't so infectious, trust me, you would not be seeing those type of numbers. That is 100% your daughter and the job that you guys did raising her. Everybody's still in love with her, and more people are finding out about her. So just keep going. Don't stop. I mean, you guys, you'll be able to change a lot of things.
Thank
I
you.
mean, it's hard not to love them. How could you not? You know, it's just how y'all are as people.
I mean, I meant to send you a screenshot the other day. If you go on social media platforms and you start just type in Gabby Petito, and she's trending everywhere.
Hey, Justin, I just saw in the StreamYard chat, somebody asked if the donations go to DV shelters. So to date, since we started the foundation, Nikki can correct me on this. I think we're like over $250,000 that our foundation has donated to other organizations. And that does include shelters and other DV organizations. So yeah. And we have a friend up in New York right now. She just, I think for her birthday, is doing a gathering of supplies for
Toiletries and
DV.
such clothing.
Yeah, a local DV organization, a shelter, a very, very small shelter on Long Island. So we do other things like that too. So we'll purchase other items that you don't even think about, like toiletries. We've actually
washer and dryer they needed.
We bought a washer and dryer. You know, you might not think that's like a huge thing, but for them it was. We purchased a washer and dryer for that shelter too. So yeah, we kind of find the organizations. Nikki and Tara went out to Wyoming this past year. They did their annual like luncheon, which didn't sell out the year prior. As soon as they promoted that Nikki and Tara were coming out to speak, It instantly sold out and helped that very, very small shelter raise almost $50,000, which went a long way for them, and able to get them more donations. So yeah.
Yeah, we always, even if we
Okay.
can't directly provide the, we don't provide direct services, but we try to help where we can. And even if we can't give a monetary donation, we help them raise money somehow. Just even if we're just there to help them by speaking, we do what we can, and every little bit counts. So, and right now the funding is necessary for domestic violence. Is all the funding's kind of shut down right now. So, it's really, really scary, and
Yeah.
we're watching, and
I'm not this is not a
Yeah.
political thing at all, but there's
No.
been a freeze on grants and stuff like that. A lot of these organizations are heavily reliant on grant funding for their programs and stuff. And right now, they're trying to work through that. So even if you have a local organization by you that is near and dear to your heart, every dollar that you could give to them too would go a long way. So it's important. And especially to the ones that provide direct services, which unfortunately we do not. We do not do that.
Our main goal is prevention and training, so that these services aren't needed as much. And we want to put them out of business. I think that's one of Joe's lines, right? We want to
That's Joe's line, yeah. And
put us out of business. Yeah.
they we're very, anything in this world is very reactionary. Like something happens and we react to it. And a lot of those services, shelters, advocates, they're reacting to something that already happened. And a lot of the funding goes to that, and it's very necessary. Prevention and education is a way to reduce the need for those services. But unfortunately, there's such a high demand on the reaction end that very little money is available for that prevention and education. And that's what we're looking to do. And sometimes you won't realize immediately. It could take years for those numbers to start dropping, but that's where we're hoping to fill the gap and reduce those numbers for them, to reduce that demand for services. And that's really what we're hoping to do by partnering with anybody we can.
Yeah. No. I appreciate everybody. This has been amazing. These topics, we could talk about them for hours and hours,
And we do. But
we do.
But no, it's great, and we've had a good audience tonight. As it's getting later, it's dwindling a little bit more, but it's been pretty heavy the entire time, and I think that's great. And again, for anybody on TikTok watching who came in late, you can go watch this on YouTube on my channel or on the Real Victims channel. And there's a lot of great stuff, information that was shared at the beginning, putting some rumors to bed, things like that. And I'm just going to say again, Dan has generously offered to match dollar for dollar to the foundation, up to $5,000 for coming up. So please go donate to, let me put it back up here, Gabby Petito Foundation.org to donate. Or if you don't want to donate, buy merch. It's still, that gives them advertising on the merch that you buy. Plus, it's really quality stuff. It's designed very well, as in addition to that. So just do something to kind of help get it out there. It's very important. And then I will plug it again. Go to Real Victims, either the podcast or the YouTube channel, and listen to the episode that we had.
It's REEL. Real is like in a film reel, so it's not REAL. It's REEL.
Do we have a second? I'm going to ask real quick. There's a kind of a teaser. Do we have a second one lined up? Because Natasha said maybe, and that she said that you have to put one out in 2 weeks.
So I think we have the cast of Spotlight.
Okay, I'll talk to you more then.
About the Catholic Church. And Mr. Belfort's team got back to me today. I'll talk to you about that later.
Positive or negative?
It's list of demands.
I'll call you right after this.
It's going to be a good one.
That would be an interesting one. I find him fascinating. So, well, I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for coming on. I know, like I said, that it's not easy opening these wounds and continuing to talk about this stuff. And I appreciate you guys allowing yourself to be so vulnerable and doing so, to give people answers and to put rumors to bed and educate, most importantly.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a good night.
Congrats again on a great week, and you really did a great job. So the whole world's watching you. So
Thank you.
yeah. All right,
Yes,
guys. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.